Cricket is thought to have originated as a game in which country boys would bowl at a tree stump or at the hurdle gate into a sheep pen as early as the 13th century. The gate was made up of two uprights, a crossbar that rested on the slotted tops, and a wicket, which was the name given to the entire gate. This was better than the stump, which was later renamed the hurdle uprights because the bail could be removed when the wicket was struck. The wicket, which added a third stump into the 1770s, are described in a various initial writing as being different lengths. However, by 1706, the pitch or space between the wickets measured 22 yards. The ball, which was probably once a stone, hasn't changed much since 17th century. It was determined in 1774 that its current weight is between 156 and 163 grams. Without a doubt, the early bat was a tree branch that was shaped like a hockey stick today, only much heavier and longer. In order to counter our length bowling, which had developed among cricketers in the small southern English village of Hambledon, the bat was changed to a straight one. Forward play, driving and cutting were achieved by shortening the handle and straightening and broadening the blade. Through the 18th century, bowling was dominated by batting due to the lack of advancement in bowling technique during this time. An 11-a-side match for 50 guineas was first mentioned in 1697 and was played in Sussex. The first known inter-county match took place at Dartford in 1709 between Kent and Surrey. It is likely that at this time there was a set of rules governing the conduct of the game. Although the earliest known copy dates from 1744, according to the sources, cricket was only played in southern countries of England in the early 1700s. However, as the game gained popularity, it made its way to London, particularly to the Artillery Ground in Finsbury, where a historic match between Kent and All England took place in 1744. At games there were frequently rowdy crowd and heavy batting. Until the Melbourne Cricket Club (MCC) in London rose to prominence in the second half of the 18th century. The cricketing powerhouse in the second half of the century was the previously mentioned Hambledon Club, which played on Broad Halfpenny Down in Hampshire, originating from a cricket club that used to play at the wide conduit fields. The MCCC Lord's Cricket Ground in St. Melbourne Borough in 1787, when it changed its name to the MCC and released its first amended code of laws the same year. Over its history, Lord's named for its founder, Thomas Lord, has operated out of the three locations. Lord's became the global cricket headquarters after moving to its present location in Street John Woods in 1814. The first North versus South County match took place in 1836, demonstrating the game's widespread popularity. William Clark of the Nottingham founded the All England 11 in 1846 and it toured the nation. In 1852, some of the top of the professionals separated to form the United All England 11. which retained the best cricket talent until the county cricket gained popularity. John Wisden later compiled the first of the famous Wisden almanacs on cricketing in 1859. They provided the players for the first English touring team abroad. All bowling was underhand until the early 19th century, and the majority of the bowlers preferred the high tossed lob. Subsequently, there was the round arm revolution, wherein numerous bowlers elevated the moment at which they released the ball. After a powerful debate, the MCC amended the legislation in 1835 to permit raising the hand to the level of the shoulder. Bowling speed or bowling pace increased significantly as a result of the new style. In defiance of the law, bowlers gradually raised their hands higher and higher. A no ball call, that is an umpiring ruling that a bowler has thrown an illegal ball, led to an England team playing Surrey walking off the field at London's Kennington Oval in protest in 1862. The main point of contention was whether or not the bowler could raise his arm above his shoulder. Due to this dispute, the bowler was formally granted the permission in 1864 to bowl overhand, but not to cock or straighten the arm. The game drastically shifted by this adjustment, which made it even harder for a batsman to judge the ball. A bowler was already permitted to take a running start for any distance, any form, any direction. The ball could hit over 90 meters per hour. Once the bowler was permitted to release overhand. Cricket has an extra twist through in the ball is typically delivered so as the bounce on the pitch before a batsman can hit it. This is not as fast as baseball pitching speed. As a result, the ball may spin towards or away from the batsman, curve to the right or left, or bounce high or low. Batsmen acquired protective gear such as batting gloves and pads, and a cane handle strengthened the bat's toughness. However, only the best batsmen could handle fast bowling, as most pitches were in poor condition, making it even more harder for a batsman to predict the ball's motion. But when the pitch got better, batsmen adjusted to the new bowling approach and started attacking. It also led to the discovery of the other new bowling styles, which made batters modify their technique even more. A debate arose about amending the 1774 laws, leg before the wicket rule, which forbade a batsman from using his body to stop the ball from hitting his wicket, because so many runs were being scored in the early 1900s. However, a number of exceptional batsmen, including Sir John Barry Hopes, William Gilbert Grace, and Ranjit Singh, were responsible for the high scores. This was the heyday of cricket. Several attempts were made in 20th century to assist the bowler and increase the game's pace. However, by the middle of the 20th century, defensive play on both sides and a slow pace had become the game's defining characteristics rather than an overpowering offensive. One day of limited over cricket was introduced in an effort to boost the diminished attendance of fans. International one-day cricket began when limited overs match was played on the final day of the play to provide spectators with something to watch after a test match was rained out for the first few days. The response was so positive that one-day cricket was born. This variation of cricket has a set number of overs, typically 50, leads to a faster pace through match-altered games. There are certain limitations on where fielders can be placed in one-day cricket. As a result, new batting techniques were developed, including the lofted shot and the paddle shot, which involve hitting the ball behind the wicket because there are typically no fielder there and over the head of the fielder. T20 is a form of one-day cricket that was introduced in 2003 and has since gained international recognition. A team plays 20 overs per side. Test cricket matches continue to have a significant following in England, but one-day cricket and especially the T20 cricket gained global popularity after the first T20 World Cup Championship was held in 2007. With the introduction of a new technology in the late 20th century, Test match tempo increased dramatically. Professionals and the amateur cricket players engaged in some of the first official matches. The Gentlemen vs Players match, which matched the best amateurs against the best professionals, took place every year starting in 1819. Ran until 1962. When the MCC and the counties stopped making the distinction between amateurs and professionals, the series came to end in 1962. There were also early cricket matches played between universities in Britain. For instance, the Oxford vs Cambridge game, which has been played primarily at Lord's since 1827, has grown to be a highlight of London's summertime culture. University cricket was a kind of nursery for county cricket. Matches between the various counties of England, although the press acclaimed a champion county Sussex as early as 1827. Qualification rules for county cricket were not laid down until 1873, and it was only in 1890 that the format of the county championships were formalized by the counties themselves. England, Australia, and South Africa, the founding member of the Imperial Cricket Conference, dominated international cricket in the early 20th century. The International Cricket Council (ICC), which was later renamed the International Cricket Conference, progressively assumed more authority over the game's management and moved its center of power from the west to the east. The final step away from the traditional form of governance was taken in 2005, when the ICC relocated its headquarters from the Lords in London, the home of the MCC, the game's founding fathers, and its legislator, to Dubai. The game's priorities also altered. Only Australia and England were still playing Test cricket in front of packed houses. At the start of the 21st century, crowds gathered everywhere else, especially in India and Pakistan, to watch limited overs international cricket. Cricket in Test matches almost vanished from the memory. The ICC created own code of conduct for players, officials, and administrators, which lays out disciplinary procedure and safeguards the spirit of the game, even though the MCC still has the authority to alter the rules of the game. Major international competitors such as the Champion Trophy and the T20 and One Day International World Cup were also organized by it. In 2000, the ICC set up the Anti-Corruption Unit, renamed the Anti-Corruption Unit and Security Unit in 2003, to combat the growing threat of illegal gambling and match fixing. At the beginning of the 2010, the ICC had 10 full members and dozens of associate and affiliate members. By the end of the 2023, it had 12 full members and 94 associate members. The T20 revolution. The 21st century brought about another significant transformation in cricket with the introduction of T20 cricket. This format, known for its high scoring and fast-paced nature, captivated audience with its thrilling entertainment value. The inaugural of the T20 World Cup in 2007 garnered immense attention and propelled the popularity of T20 cricket around the globe. Cricket has evolved into a truly global sport with a large following in countries such as India, Australia, England, Pakistan, South Africa, Sri Lanka, even in USA. The International Cricket Council (ICC) serves as the governing body responsible for organizing international tournaments and maintaining the spirit and integrity of the game. The history of the cricket is a testament to its enduring appeal and evolution as a sport. From its humble beginning as a rural pastime to becoming a global phenomenon, cricket has captivated generations of players and fans alike. As the game continues to evolve, it remains a symbol of sportsmanship, camaraderie, and the spirit of the fair play.